$800 for the lot. Picked up these gems on Facebook Marketplace for $800. We've got a Suzuki, that's like a DT or DL50. We've got a Suzuki 80. This one's kind of in pieces. We're missing some case covers. Those pieces are pulled off. This case cover's gone. I don't know what size this is. Another Suzuki. And then we've got this Yamaha Moto 4. This thing looks like it's in really good condition. And then the main reason I wanted these was actually for that little Suzuki 50. My in-laws have a little Honda 50, and it is just the sweetest little kid, you know, four-wheeler. Kids, you can put the kids loose on it and they can go, and you're not too worried about them doing too much damage. So this one is a little bit rougher. The seat's pretty rough. We'll have to do something to fix that up. But the guy that sold them to me found them in a barn. So these are a barn find, and they were just too much work for him. He kind of flips ATVs, and he just didn't want to deal with the work. This one may go for parts, or I may find another motor for it. I mean, it's probably, I don't know, between the Yamaha and this one, they're probably the best condition. This larger Suzuki, it's got some pretty rough damage. But we'll be doing some YouTube videos, catch you up on these. This will be a fun little project. Was really looking for one, and we got 4. And so it's a little more of a project than I was looking for, but this will be fun for all the kids. Maybe we can get rid of the bigger one and keep the smaller ones for the kids, or whatever ends up working out. It'll be a fun little project. Well, as you can see, I got a little excited and started on the LT50 without you guys. We'll catch you up to speed. So the air box is just crumbling. So that thing just kind of fell out. So I'll need to order a new one of those. Took off our vintage fuel can, and unfortunately this thing has rusted out. That's a hole I stuck the screwdriver through, so this is no good. I pulled off the on-off switch, and that was all plugged up too, so I'll probably need to order a new one of those. Looking for a new fuel tank, not sure what I'm going to do there. Over to this. The guy told me the throttle cable was stuck, which it is. I'm just going to order a new one. I tried lubing this up, but it is not budging. I did stick some carb cleaner in the air intake right here, and it fired right off. So I think this is just a little single speed and nothing crazy. It is a 2-stroke, so we've got our oil reserve right here. And this thing's going to be a little sweet little banger. It does have some flat tires, so we'll need to address that, but let's see if we can fire this up for you. Okay, on to our little Yamaha Moto 4. This thing is super clean. Obviously we need 2 new rear tires. Looks like this one's flat too. I held some air. Yeah, we're gonna need more tubes or tires on these. Okay, what's the deal on this one? I'm not a big, huge ATV mechanic. I've definitely tinkered on stuff. I had a CRF 450R, a dirt bike, so I know my way around this stuff, but it's not something I do on the daily, so I don't even know where to start on some of these. So we got a plastic tank on this one. Looks dry as a bone. And this key, I think I tried this before. Oh, this one. I think the other key's frozen. This one looks like it works. Throttle on this guy is froze solid as well. Off, run. So where's our seat class? Let's pop this seat up. Ooh, nice. Nice little rat's nest in here. Got a battery in here. So this thing's gonna be electric start. Let's throw the jump pack on here. Let's clean up that crap. It's not doing well. Okay, this line is disconnected. Goes from there, some way. Got a choke on here, which doesn't look like it's doing anything. On, off. Maybe it does. It's just super easy to move. Where's our air intake? There's our air box out front here. Okay, we got a little rag dealio in here. We'll try out our new Fox Speed jump pack here. This does not seem like it's taking a charge. We've got no lights in here, nothing's lighting up. Off, on, nothing. Oh yeah, we have green lights here. Woohoo! Here we go. Now we're good. Okay, on to the throttle cable issue. Oops. Okay, shall we take an inventory? On the LT50, we need a new air filter, throttle cable, fuel tank on-off reserve switch, fuel line to the carb, and 2 bolts to hold the seat down. There was only one there and they're pretty rusty. And then it needs tires. This is the Moto 4. I'll look at the air filter, see what options there are. Probably need to do an oil change. It doesn't look too bad. The sight glass is pretty full. Fuel tank, hope it's good. This one does need a throttle cable. Battery, how are the brakes on this one? Brakes are pretty good. Wish I could get this to fire over. So we got a flashing red here and it says not charging battery. Okay, we got this big boy loaded up in here. We got a green light on, we're good to go. Well, that flipped the breaker. That's the first time I've blown a breaker in this garage. We blow one of those 30s. I think we blew this light switch, because this outlet is still working. That's cool. These are a new dimmer switch. I should have got these are the Casa switches. This is the dimmer one. I should have got the non-dimmer one. It's all that Home Depot had. Okay, we're moving down the line here from this Yamaha to the Suzuki Dual Sport. This is another little 80. Moved the battery over here, and we got no juice. And I think the problem is in this key. So we got this on, off, and this key is just frozen. So we'll try and free that up. Use some of this Houdini. Love this stuff. Picked it up from my local locksmith. It is good stuff. It's like turning the whole body. Is this even the right key? This looks like a master key or something. Yeah, for some reason I don't think this is the factory key. This totally looks like a little master lock key. And they've got like little JB welder crap in here. I mean, this thing was like glued in. Pretty sure this ignition switch is gonzo. Pull the key off of this guy. Probably won't fit in here anymore. But I think that's what was intended to go in here. Yeah, somebody totally mucked this up. Okay, took 4 screws off this. And look what we found in here. Another insulation rat's nest. So I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'm just going to take a look at this wiring. Okay, well, let's do a recap. I'm putting these back together. I did lose power over in this bay because I was ran in the shop vac, and that blew my new Casa switches, my smart switches. Anyways, so this machine, I did get this fired up, got it started and running, ran it off some carb cleaner. The fuel filter, or the air filter, is disintegrated, so I need to get a new one of those. The biggest thing wrong with this one, I think, is right here, this fuel on-off valve, the reservoir valve. The reservoir side inlet was just super gummed up and nasty. So I'm going to order a new one of those. And the other big thing with this one is the throttle cable. So it's pretty jammed up and stuck. It also is not very, it's not closing very well. I might just have to order a whole new assembly. But that throttle cable's stuck like most of them. Again, we got tire issues, and the fenders on this one are the worst. The front here, we're missing a fender on one side, and you know, we're just super cracked. They've made a bunch of repairs over the years. You know, it doesn't have the original graphics on there. Seat right here is not horrible. It is old, weather checked, cracked. Looks like they've tried to make some repairs because these are not just tearing for whatever reason. That might be cleaned up a little bit. The guy I bought it from does a lot of these ATV repairs, and he said just throw some super glue on there and stick some nail polish on there and it'll look as good as new. The sunlight's bright over here. This fender is pretty jacked up too. They tried to make a little, wow, that's bad, little fiberglass patch, bunch of fiberglass patches over here, and it just looks horrible. I'm gonna look at fenders for this one, but this one's not a huge priority for me. This is, you know, a 230, Suzuki 230, LT230. The key works great on it, and but it is a clutch unit, so this is not going to be very good for the kids. We got a decompression valve right here, and that does work actually. It's got the side kick coming off to the side here, so it's hard to start. It's got a clutch on it, so this is not going to be really good for the kids, and it's on the bigger side of things. So this one's kind of a last priority for me. This one probably be something I'll, you know, screw around on, cruise around in the yard, but you know, really kind of too big for the property that we have here. Suzuki 50, ordered the parts for this. I think I already covered kind of what we needed for this. This one needs quite a bit of work. Well, the fuel tank's the biggest thing on this one, which is a bummer. I'm gonna need to figure out something for that. Looking around, looks like my best option is gonna be to JB weld the tank or weld the tank or something like that. Maybe well, it'd be cool if you could put like a bladder in those. But anyways, the tank's the biggest issue on that one. This little Suzuki LT80, nice machine. You know, the best, you know, fenders of them all. They're actually still shiny. You know, these other ones, they've kind of lost their sheen. They're really rough and scratchy. But this one looks really nice. But this one's the worst off. I tried to get it started, couldn't get any battery juice, couldn't figure out what was going on, and then the more I looked, the more I realized we don't even have a spark plug in there. So it's missing a spark plug. I do have all the covers for here, but all the covers were pulled off. Our air intake's gone, so who knows how long this has been exposed to the elements. These are all two-stroke, well, this is a two-stroke. This Moto 4 is a 4-stroke. The little 50 is a 2-stroke. The oil tank reservoir on this was empty as well. And, you know, but like the choke works perfect on this one. Super easy to use. But this cover's gone. It's all oily in here. It's like corrosion on it. I don't think there was a cover for this side. But our exhaust is gone as well. And I was looking at it, and, well, maybe the top end does. Maybe we could unbolt the top end, pull it off, and put a cylinder on there. This might need a cylinder kit or more. I might try and just order a plug for this and just go super cheap on it. It also needs an ignition switch because they put a master lock key in there, tried to JB weld it in. So I just need a whole new ignition switch for this. This one also needs a battery, and this thing is not bolted on down here. So lots of little pieces. on the surface looked really good, but he told me when he sold it to me, he said this one's probably just good for parts. And then I saw that the spark plug was missing, and I was like, oh yeah, he got deep enough into this one to see that. This Yamaha Moto 4, I think the biggest reason this wouldn't start up is our CDI, the ignition module here. Something's not firing here. This was like C-clamped, you can see right here. This was clamped onto the frame because it only had one screw in here. So I wondered if that did some damage. I'm gonna look up these and maybe just order a new unit. Again, I'm not super savvy on these. Someone who knew what they were doing could probably test this real quick and find out. But this didn't have really good engagement on the spark plug, so I'm just going to assume that that's not working. You know, with the battery on here, this thing turns over like crazy good. Sounds like it's got compression. Sounds like it's got everything good to go. Fuel system was actually pretty good on this one. I think even our fuel delivery system was working good. So I think it's just not getting spark. So yeah, everything pretty much needed gas-related issues. Everyone needed a new valve here and throttle cables. This throttle cable needed one as well. The unfortunate news is this throttle cable, it's a little bit sticky, but this one works the best, and we're furthest from having this thing running. So that's a quick recap on these machines. Fun little project, enjoying getting into these. Growing up, I always loved ATVs, riding them. I sent a picture of my buddy of these, and his response was, reminds me of Pentaxle days. So back in high school, one of our friends had a bunch of ATVs, and we'd go ride them, and one of them we rode a little too hard and bent an axle, and we all had to pitch in and pay for it, and probably were a little bit easier on the machines after that point. But yeah, fun little project. Apologize for the lighting. We'll pick you up on the next video where we get into these and get these back on the road.